Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Town of Waukesha Town Board meeting for August 27th, 2015, beginning at 6:33 p.m. I'd like to call the meeting to order and begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. And Madam Clerk, could we begin with the roll call?
Supervisor Durr?
Here.
Supervisor Fisher?
Here.
Chairman Merrick?
Present.
Supervisor Radke?
Here.
Supervisor Wolf?
Here.
And Madam Clerk, have we met all of the rules of the open meetings law?
We did. We did put the, there's a change in the agenda where it says that everything was posted on the 21st. The two boards on, the two exterior boards weren't posted until the 26th. The morning of the 26th, 9 a.m. So it made the open meetings law compliance check, but it wasn't exactly on August 21st.
But we are still legal.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yes, we are.
And we can begin with citizens' comments. Going once, going twice. Then we can move on to approval of the meeting minutes from August 13th, 2015. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of August 13, 2015.
And a second?
I'll second that.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. On to 6, new business, discussion and possible action on the following: award of road bid crack filling and slag work for Crestview Drive, Deer Creek, Whispering Hills Court, Charles Drive, Molla Drive, Morningside Circle, Morningside Drive. Bids were due in on August 17th, and we received 2, as I recall.
That's correct.
Supervisor Durr?
I'll make a motion to approve the full project bid from, Scott, thank you. Scott Construction Incorporated in the amount of $70,457.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Discussion?
Just a question for clarification purposes, and either Clerk Treasurer Nicholas or Supervisor Durr can answer to it. This fits within our parameters for what we've budgeted for doing that work, does it?
It fits in the parameters of the budget for the DPW.
Are we going to send out a notice for those folks where we're going to be slagging?
We will.
Okay.
Question, are they doing it this year?
That's my understanding.
Okay, because I see Farner said the season's over, but Scott has time to fit it in?
Yes, he did say that.
Okay.
Any further discussion?
Only other thing that I would request, and I will certainly support this, I think it would be helpful to have not only notifying the residents, but to have a approximate schedule or sequence of doing that, if there's a way that could be requested and made available to board members, just so we've got a little bit of a sense of how that's to progress. And I understand that's, of course, subject to change depending on weather and productivity, but it would just be nice at least a little bit to know sequencing or approximate timing.
I will do that.
Take care of it. I was going to ask Supervisor Durr to do it.
Since Clerk Nicholas already volunteered to do it, there wouldn't be a need for 2 of us to do it.
Anything further? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. On to 7, discussion and possible action on the following: Nick and Justin Treder concerning non-compliance at S31 West 23241 Sunset. I think Mr. Treder's in the audience tonight, and this is before us. This was before us a few weeks ago. We had instructed the attorney to move forward with regards to a full summons and court action. And I had since spoken with Mr. Treder, and he wanted to update us on timeline and what is going on with the property, why he's in possession of it as opposed to Mrs. Sampson. So come on up, Mr. Treder. And if you just give your name and address for the clerk.
This is not Justin, this is son. So. You want to come up here? No? Okay.
He was the younger twin, huh?
Good evening, board. My name is Nick Treder. I am one of the two new property owners. My aunt, Penny Sampson, was the previous owner. The address is South 31 West 23241 Sunset Drive. This particular property has been in the Sorger family for many years. Catherine Sorger, the previous owner, who was my great-grandmother, passed away about 15 years ago. At that time, the house and the land was transferred to Penny Sampson, who is the owner. We call her Aunt Butchie, so as I go through this, if I call her Aunt Butchie, that's why. She was the owner. She's been the owner for some time, and quite frankly, the interaction that we have, my brother Justin and I, and Penny over the years has been very limited. And within the last 6 months, we started having conversations about her having trouble with having to raise the house. And she, the more we talked about it, the more we realized she didn't have the financial funds to take care of it. And she was actually at the point where, and I know she was delaying and delaying and delaying, and I think she was hoping for something to come up for her to be able to potentially raise the house. She just couldn't come across the funds, and she was at the point where she was going to get rid of it. Now, you got to remember that growing up as kids, when I was Cole's size, we used to come out here with my father every single weekend, and we'd ride our motorcycles and our dirt bikes and our four-wheelers, while Dad would go and take care of the land because Grandma couldn't handle it. So it's been kind of one of those things that has always been in the life of my brother and I, and we saw this as a tremendous opportunity to take it over. So we dealt with our Aunt Butchie, and we said, look, you turn the property over to us, and we have the financial capacity to take care of the raising. We'll take care of that. And that in fact is what we did. So she did a short, what do they call it, a short transfer or something. She put it into my name and my brother's name under what we call Treder Properties LLC. So I'm a single income family. It's me and I've got 2 kids and my wife. My wife does not work. And then my brother's a small business owner. So we, between the two of us, we put it under an LLC and figured that's the best way to roll with this. And our intent is to raise the property. I know that we presented a 4-month plan initially to take care of it, and I think that was rejected. But we stood by what we felt was an adequate plan, and John and I have had conversations since then. And I think the progress to date has shown that we're serious about this. This is not a matter of transferring the land from one family member to another in hopes to get another year extension. That's not the point. We are going to raise the house, and I think we've shown that we will. If you've driven by there lately, you've seen that we've actually clear-cut the land in and around the house. The intent there was to be able to get into the house and figure out and identify what is in and around, so we understood the actual magnitude of what we had to do to raise the property. Since then, we've had an inspector come in. We had Midwest Environmental come in last Friday. Bonnie there took samples. She took 18 samples. Her expectation is that the samples will be back by the end of this week. Now, the reason we did that is based on the laws and regulations and your building requirements. We need to go and do the inspection to make sure there's no asbestos or hazardous material. So that's exactly what we're doing. Provided that the samples come back clean, our intent would be within the next few weeks then to have some heavy machinery out there, and we're going to take the house down and remove it. If not, we're obviously going to have to go through the abatement plan. So that might delay it another week or so. But the cursory review of the house to date reflects some asbestos in there that they think might be there. So we think that any asbestos work that would have to be done would be minimal. So that's where we stand. And I would say, I know we had 4 months out there, and my intent there was, look, I'm in the construction industry, as I know, John, you are, but look, things don't happen overnight. They don't happen within weeks. There's a lot of coordination. There's a lot of things that come up. And my initial intent with that 4-month plan was to give me a little breathing room in the event that something big did come up or if I had trouble scheduling. But where we stand, we plan within that 4-month time frame to remove the house, probably well before that.
Have you disconnected and capped utilities yet, gas, electric, and water?
So Penny did that. I do have documentation from We Energies that has been complete.
Okay.
Yeah, and since then, we've also had a plumber in there, we've had a heavy machinery operator in there, reviewing the site. We've had a couple inspection people look at it, but we subsequently went with Midwest Environmental. So we've had many people out there looking at it. We've got it all planned and ready to go. We just got to get over this hazardous material inspection.
So if we said 30 days from today, would that be adequate to get this done?
I could probably answer that after I get the inspection results back. I don't know the magnitude of that. I would say, well, if once the abatement's done, if any has to happen, yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Questions?
Once the house is raised, what's the plans for the property?
Well, we'll backfill and take care of the property as required, but beyond that, nothing. We'll probably use it for recreational purposes. My son and I will probably be out there. My brother, we might, just use it for recreation. That's it. I understand it's zoned conservancy, which means we've got very limited building that we can do. I think there's like a 1-story that you can put on there, but we don't plan on doing any of that.
Have you contacted a demolition contractor or demolition contractors?
Yeah, we've already got one set. His name is Brian. He's with Menning Enterprises.
Okay.
And he's right there in Eagle. He's right down the road. He's actually a friend of the family. So we plan on doing it ourselves,
Okay.
which again also played into the 4-month thing because the plan is on the weekends to do it. That may be a problem now that I'm trying to get some of these dumpsters out there, and a lot of these guys don't do work on weekends, or they'll drop them off, but they can only drop off on Friday, pick up Monday or something like that. But I don't expect that to delay at all.
I guess I have a comment and a question, or just a discussion. First of all, comment. Thank you for being present tonight. Appreciate that. It's a good opportunity. I mean, I appreciate that you may be communicating with town chairman, building inspector, town clerk, or what or not, but it's nice to be able to have a direct conversation with you. Obviously, you've had significant amount of discussion that the town, I think collectively, town board thinks there's some urgency about moving ahead with this. Appreciate you expressing your intentions. Would it be, and I'm not trying to see how long we can make our agendas, but the town board meets every 2 weeks. Would it be unduly imposing upon you to basically regularly be put on that 2-week agenda and come and give us a quick progress report like you are tonight? Would you consent to that?
I would if I'm not held to some 30-day thing, which if I understand you correctly, yeah, I'm more than willing, either myself or my brother will be here every other week if that's what it takes to help you guys see the progress that we're willing to make and the commitment that we're willing to make.
I mean, at the moment, my question is just kind of a probing thing that any of the other members of the board might not have any taste for that at all. I mean, I'm in the design and construction
you don't want to see
business.
this face every day?
Well,
Yeah,
there's
I
one
get
thing
it.
about face-to-face accountability for all of us, and I mean,
Sure.
I've walked in those shoes and everything.
Yeah.
I think it helps with accountability to have people be face-to-face.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I live in North Prairie, so
Okay.
I mean, it's a 15-minute ride for us, absolutely.
Thank you.
Sure.
Any other questions for Mr. Treder?
So, through this, I thought I heard you say that you're expecting the samples back this week, which essentially would be tomorrow.
Bonnie said we can possibly expect them tomorrow.
Okay, so then I thought I also heard you say that pending clean samples, you thought that within a couple of weeks you would be completed with the raising. So I guess I would make a motion that we give them an extension, that we put our, what's the legal terminology?
Long-form and summons complaint.
On hold for 30 days pending clean samples and for 60 days pending abatement requirement to give them an opportunity to raise. To me, that's reasonable, and that would be my motion.
I'll second the motion. I'll just ask you, would you accept a friendly amendment to request or require the petitioner to appear at the town board meetings regularly?
I would.
Okay.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here.
All right, you guys need to stick around?
Nope, we're all set. On to 8, accounts payable.
Hung around, you could fulfill a future merit tab.
It's past his bedtime already. You guys have a nice day.
Motion to approve the bills in the amount of $72,881.46. That is less the Rupert and Melky bill.
I'll make a motion, we approve the payment of the bills in the amount of $72,881.46.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And lastly, the Rupert and Melky bill at $96.48.96.
I make a motion that we pay the Rupert and Milky bill in that amount.
And a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Oh, I apologize.
As an abstention, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
And abstentions?
Aye.
And a motion for adjournment.
I'll make a motion that we adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We are adjourned. Thanks for coming.